સાવધાન માતે જહાર પ્રસાદે ભાઈ હે ભવ તોરિયા જાય કૃષ્ણ પ્રાપ્તિ હોય જહા હોય તે કૃષ્ણ પ્રાપ્તિ હોય જહા હોય તે ગુરુમુખ પદ્મા વાક્યા ચિત્તે તે કોરિયા ક્યા હરના કોરી હો માને આશા હરના કોરી હો માને આશા શ્રી ગુરુ ચરણે રતિ હૈશે ઉત્તમ ગતિ શ્રી ગુરુ જે પ્રસાદે પૂરે સર્વ આશા જે પ્રસાદે પૂરે સર્વ આશા ચક્કુ દાન દિલો જય જન્મે જન્મે પ્રભુ છે ચક્કુ દાન દિલો જય જન્મે જન્મે પ્રભુ છે દિવ્ય જ્ઞાન હૃદય પ્રકાશિતો દિવ્ય જ્ઞાન હૃદય પ્રકાશિતો પ્રેમ ભક્તિ જહા હોય તે અવિદ્યા વિનાશ જાતે પ્રેમ ભક્તિ જહા હોય તે અવિદ્યા વિનાશ જાતે વિનાશ જાતે વેદે ગાય જહર ચરિતો વેદે ગાય જહર ચરિતો શ્રી ગુરુ કરુણા સિંધુ અધમા જનારા બંધુ શ્રી ગુરુ કરુણા સિંધુ અધમા જનારા બંધુ લોકનાથ લોકે રજીવાના લોકનાથ લોકે રજીવાના હા હા પ્રભુ કોરો દોયા દેહો મોરે પાદ છાયા প্রভু করো দয়া, দেহ মোরে পাদ ছায়া। এবে যাস গোসুক ত্রিভুবানা, এবে যাস গোসুক ত্রিভুবানা। হা হা প্রভু করো দয়া, দেহ মোরে পাদ ছায়া। হা হা প্রভু করো দয়া, দেহ মোরে পাদ ছায়া। এবে যাস গোসুক ত্রিভুবানা, শ্রীলা প্রভুপাদ পতিত পাবনা। জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা। জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা। জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ, 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ। জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ, 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 জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले, श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री प्रभुपाद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jaya Radha Kala Chanji, Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Sata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Prajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, a little bit more. That's it. That's great. Good morning to Sri Sri Radha Kalachandji Dham. Good morning to all of the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. I see school has started already. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. We're continuing to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, and we'll do something a little different, just slightly different. This morning, we'll go back and read text 30 and then bring it up to date with 32 because somehow or other we missed text 30. So I would say it is my special mercy that I get a chance to do two of them, two texts at the same time, and I pray that in the process of it all, that there is some instructions, some lesson, some nectar that can be taken from the scriptures as they are written, and they pass through my mouth to the mic, to the general population, but only with the blessings and the mercy of Radha Kalachandji Dham, and Sri Guru. Before we read and delve into the scriptures, we always like to bring ourselves into a mood of love by singing Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan. Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan. Yashodanandana Braja Jararanjanan. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Radha Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jaya Jaya Jagannath, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jaya Baladev, 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev. Baladev, Baladev, Jaya Jaya Baladev. Jaya Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Gornitai. Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya. Nitai Goro Haribol, 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 Nitai Goro Haribol, Nitai Goro Haribol, 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 Nitai Goro Haribol. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai, Shishimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So continuing to read from Canto 1, Chapter 17, and text 30 and 31. Chapter 17, of course, is on the punishment and reward of Kali, which sounds a little interesting because why would we reward Kali? Why not just punish Kali? But as we continue to read from the scriptures, we will understand better. And as I said earlier, we're going to read text 30 because we skipped it, and it's not on the board, so I'll repeat that. And then we'll read text 32. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Patitam Pariyo Viraha Kripaya Dina Vatsala Sranyo Navadich Chikya Chokya Aha Chedam Hasa Ivam Patitam Parayo Viraha Kripaya Dina Vatsalaha Sranyo Navadich Chlokya Aham Chedam Hasan Ivam Patitam Parayo Viraha Kripaya Dina Vatsalaha Sranyo Navadich Chokya Aha Chedam Hasan Ivam Patitam fallen, Pariyo at the feet, Viraha the hero, Kripaya out of compassion, Dina Vatsala kind to the poor, Sharanyaha one who is qualified to accept surrender, Na not Avadit did kill, Slokyaha one who is worthy of being sung, Aha said, Cha also, Idam this, Hassan smiling, Eva like. The translation here is Maharaj Parikshit, who was qualified to accept surrender and worthy of being sung in history, did not kill the poor surrendered and fallen Kali, but smiled compassionately, for he was kind to the poor. Purport, even An ordinary kshatriya does not kill a surrendered person. And what to speak of Maharaj Parikshit, who was by nature compassionate and kind to the poor. He was smiling because the artificially dressed Kali had disclosed his identity as a lower class man, and he was thinking how ironic it was that although no one was saved from his sharp sword when he desired to kill, the poor lower class Kali was spared by his timely surrender. Maharaj Parikshit's glory and kindness are therefore sung in history. He was a kind and compassionate emperor, fully worthy of accepting surrender, even from his enemy. Thus, the personality of Kali was saved by the will of providence. Text 32. Tvam vartamanam nara deva deheshav anupravatoyam adharma pujaha labonitam choraya anaram amho jayeshta chamaya kalas chadambaha. Tvam vartamanam nara deva deheshav anupravrito adama pujaha lobanitam choryam anaram amho jyeshta chamaya kalaschadambaha. Tvam vartamanam nara deva deheshav anupravrito adama pujaha labonitam choryam anaram amho jyeshta chamayam kalahascham damba. Tvam, you, Vartamanam, while present, Naradeva, a man, god, or king, Deheshu, in the body, Anupravrita, taking place everywhere, Ayam, all these, Adharma, irreligious principles, Pugaha, in the masses, Lobaha, greed, Anirtam, falsity, Charyam, robbery, Anaryam, incivility, treachery, Jayeshta, misfortune, Cha, and Maya, cheating, Kalaha, quarrel, Cha, and Dambaha, vanity. Translation: in the personality, if the personality of Kali, your religion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. Purport: the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the follower of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan to Christian or some other faith and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of the time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but the state cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion as above mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of state will be indifferent to such religious principles, and therefore, under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating, and pilfery will naturally follow. And so there will be no meaning to propaganda crying to stop the corruption in the state. Om Kenyana Timarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tashma Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadandikan Vancha Kalpaturabhis Chakripa Sandubhi Eva Chapati Danam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhya Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Swayadvaita Kadaraha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So going to text 30. It speaks of Maharaj Parikshit and how, as powerful as he is, he is as compassionate as he is powerful. Even though Maharaj Parikshit was so strong, he had the ability to chastise the demons. However, because Kali surrendered and made aware that he was really not who he was dressed as, that he was parading as a higher class person when actually he was a lower class person dressed as a higher class person. Okay, so that was a mouthful. So one of the thoughts that comes to mind is that regardless of how a person dresses, that is not an indication as who they really are. Of course, we learn that from the scriptures, but we see it every day in our lives. We can think about Hiranyakasipu, very powerful, very wealthy, very demonic king. And because of how he represented himself, his kingdom did not benefit greatly from his personality. And even though Lord Krishna, in a way, forgave him, but not before he ended his life, because as we know, when Krishna takes a life, he gives you liberation. And that is what Hiranyakasipu was given, because Prahlad Maharaj begged for that for his father. And it is just that the examples that we see in the scriptures are actually lessons that we are supposed to learn from. And it may take us a couple of times reading the scriptures to really understand it. We have to understand that even though there are things that could be done in a situation where someone needs to be punished, it's not always done. Compassion is allowed. You think of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees that he took upon himself as disciples. They were hippies. They were, and because I wasn't there, I can only surmise that whatever we could think of, they probably consumed. But he was so forgiving and he was so compassionate that he took them under his wings. And he taught them how to become devotees. And that lesson is to continue. Even though Srila Prabhupada could have done so much more, not saying that he didn't do enough, but he did exactly what he was supposed to do, he left a lot for us to continue to do. Even though Krishna, at the time he was on the planet, could have resolved everything, then what would we be left to do? Not a single thing. We had a lesson to learn from the scriptures. We have instructions on how to live. And yet, based on all the instructions, sometimes we're still getting it wrong. And I'm one of them. I'm not perfect. There are things that I can see that I'm doing today that I was not so good at years ago. And there are things that I still see that I can be better at. That is the compassion of the Lord, that no matter what it is we are doing, He is so loving and so understanding that He gives us opportunity after opportunity after multiple opportunities, lifetimes, to get it right, to do the right thing. And going on to text 32, the principles of religion are again mentioned, how key and how important they are, but how in this world, if you looked around, you would find that there are so many people in a position of cheating. There are so many people, not in the United States, but all around the world, that are similarly suffering from irreligion. And the scriptures does not indicate that you have to change from whatever your religion is, if it is bona fide, whether, and it mentions whether you are Hindu, Muhammad, Christian, or any other religion, unless those principles that you're following are principles of austerity, mercy, cleanliness, and truthfulness, among other things, then it really isn't a bona fide faith. It really isn't. We have so many faiths that we seem to want to tweak and make it the way we want it. In certain scriptures, and I won't be specific about which scriptures those are, but in certain scriptures, you'll find things according to this person, or a word or a faith according to a particular name. What I am totally in awe of is the fact that we stick to the Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is not within our right to change the words of the scriptures or the essence of the scriptures. You'll find me discussing the scriptures. I will repeat the sloka, I will do the translation, I will repeat the purport. I will also share my understanding of what it is. Each and every one of you has a particular understanding of the scriptures that I've just read. Unless you're keeping the essence of it, then you're wasting your time. And hopefully I'm not wasting my time when I have an opportunity to speak the scriptures. But in this age that we're living in, all that we're reading right now in the first canto, it's almost like it's hitting us with the front page news, because all of it is happening right now. All of it is very relevant, and all of it gives each and every one of us an opportunity to have an impact on what's going on in the world. No one that has taken shelter of a guru, that has taken initiation, can ever say in any context, in any temple, that there is nothing that I can do. There is no service that I can perform. Each and every one of us can have an impact on this world, on what's going on the, I hate to use this word, but the sins that are taking place, the inequalities that are taking place. We have the ability to have an impact. As to whether or not we have the strength is based upon our free will. We read so many times of those individuals that seemingly have no strength, but because of their faith in God, in Krishna, can manifest an extreme amount of faith, an extreme amount of abilities. The purport mentions dogmas that most faiths are ruled by. And the dogmas are just, how is it? Let me get it properly described, because there's a difference between dogmas, between being dogmatic, and there's a difference in being pragmatic. So when you're following the scriptures, when you're following really pretty much any particular scripture, you want to make sure that you are being pragmatic instead of dogmatic. Here. And then there's a quote by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that I'll read also. But if our faith was dogmatic, which it is not, it would mean that we're following a set of rules, no matter what, blindly, like blind faith. And the rules, religion, they may be religious, philosophical, or they just may be made up. But it is though there is no essence in the proof of what is being spoken. It is if someone is saying, if you carry this apple across the street, and this is really far out, but if you carry this apple across the street, then you will become a devotee. As asinine as that sounds, there are certain faiths that have dogmatic statements that make no sense, but people follow it without questioning, as opposed to being pragmatic, which means it makes sense, and that there is something that is an end result that manifests from following that particular belief or faith. As opposed to dogmatic, there may be no ending or proof in whatever that statement is. Now that's a pretty general statement, but being dogmatic as opposed to pragmatic means following blindly and there not being anything to prove, or there is no essence, as opposed to being pragmatic, following something that makes perfect sense, and there is an end result that is foreseeable. The Scriptures mention the many times that Krishna, for example, has taken the position of punisher. And I was reading those that were punished, the demons that were punished, and you need to understand that whoever the demon was, the type of punishment or the type of demon that it was, there was a lesson behind the punishment. And I'm just going on a little bit further, elaborating on how punishments are done, how they're taken place, and how even though we are in a position where we as individuals can not submit, but we can affect a different type of punishment on individuals, and I'll cover that a little bit later, but we are in a position where we can have an impact on an individual or a group individual's performance. And in some ways, it can be considered a punishment. Getting back to one of them, Adenikashura, the demon, his punishment represented gross materialistic intelligence and ignorance of spiritual knowledge. Aristasur, the bull, his punishment represented pride, rising from false religions invented by cheaters, which causes neglect of devotional service. Bhaktivinoda has a statement that he makes on these types of punishment, but there were others. Forgive me, because when I'm doing this at night, I'm doing it quickly, and I'm always doing it in such a way that the order makes sense to me, but it may not make sense to anyone else. Putana, who pretended to be a maid nursing Lord Krishna, represents the false guru. Srinavarta, the whirlwind demon, represents false pride that comes from material scholarship. Vatsasura, the calf demon, represents the childish type of mentality that results in wickedness. Now, the order in which this is given may bounce all around, but the point is, examples have been set in the scriptures, lessons that we can learn from, and lessons that we can use as examples in the world around us. Krishna is so merciful that he not only gives us cause, effect, and the end result, so merciful that he shows us exactly what it is we need to do, how we need to do it, and what the end result is. He gives us many different paths to come to him. Regardless of what we say our faith is, if it is a bona fide faith and it is operating on the principles of religion, then it's good. There are different ways that we can come to this temple. There are various routes that we can take, various expressways, various top roads, but there's a certain amount of ways and directions that we can get here. There are also certain paths that we can follow, getting to Krishna. Through the scriptures, we can understand that when one is on a devotional path, eventually it will lead to the Lord. Everyone does not come at the same time, does not come in the same mood, but we are given such compassion and love that Krishna doesn't expect all of us to come at the same time. He doesn't expect all of us to follow the same path. He gives us free will. We have always been given free will to get to this point. And it doesn't mean that if you are of a particular faith, you're wrong. When you operate on pragmatic principles, eventually you will come to Krishna. When you operate on the understanding that regardless of what you term your religion to be, we are all one big family. When you also take the responsibility that wherever you are in life right now, you have an opportunity not only to assist yourself, but to assist someone else on their path. With the upcoming festival that's coming up, Janmashtami, wouldn't it be great if each and every one of us took a weakness of ours, whatever our weakness was, whatever fault that we had, and we worked on that fault and perfected it, so that this time next year, Krishna willing, we are a better person because we have taken the opportunity to change ourselves instead of remaining the same over and over again. We have an opportunity every single day that we wake up to be a better person. Whether we take that opportunity or not is completely up to us. But when the festivals come up, it is a perfect time. It is a perfect opportunity to take to the scriptures, to take an assessment of who we are, where we are, and what we've done since the last time this festival came about. As a matter of fact, you can assess yourself from yesterday. Is there a difference in your personality? Is there a difference in your God consciousness? Is there a difference in your faith today compared to yesterday? Are you reading Srila Prabhupada's books? Are you chanting? Are you taking proper association? There are so many standards that can be accomplished to become a devotee, to become a child of God. We are that, but we can be better at what we're doing. Come Janmashtami, Krishna's birthday, we should make an offering. I can't tell you what to do, but I would like to make an offering to take a personality flaw that I may have and to work on it. And in the process of working on that flaw, I am hoping that I can assist someone else. As a matter of fact, that's what Krishna consciousness is about. That's what God consciousness is about. It's in addition to working on ourselves, we ultimately help someone else. And you'll find that when you're having issues and problems, when you focus on someone else's issues, it seems to minimize what your issue is, and in some cases, it makes your issue doable. It makes it something that's possible to change. To get back to text 30 and 32, Parikshit, in this particular case, once he is given the truth of Kali, once Kali makes it known that he is dressed only in a costume of a highly elevated individual, of a kshatriya, he's forgiven. How often Do we take the opportunity to forgive people that have done things to us? Or how often do we hold on to it? Because when we tend to hold on to things, it hurts us more than it hurts the individual. As a matter of fact, it festers. It's like sweeping trash underneath the carpet. Eventually, it's going to be a problem. It's going to cause us more issues than if we had dealt with it at a particular time. As far as the cheating, the greed, the falsehood, the robbery, the incivility, the treachery, the misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity, all of those things have now become part of our everyday lives. What can we do? We can simply throw our hands up and say, it's not my issue. Or we can take a role in having an impact on the world. And having an impact on the world can come from the strength of chanting. It can come from the strength that one receives from hearing the scriptures from a bona fide spiritual master, from a surrendered senior soul, from taking time to develop a relationship with someone of like characteristics that is going to help you through this world, because you have to understand whatever you're doing, wherever you are, you cannot do it alone. And then when we speak of being alone, understand technically none of us are ever alone. In the scriptures, it talks about the years that gravitates toward the age of Kali Yuga, where things are so degenerated that you will find very few devotees. You will find probably no Krishna temples. Now we're talking about lifetimes and lifetimes from now. But when I was reading that, I thought, this sounds like Krishna's not here. What we need to understand is no matter where we are in whatever yuga, Krishna is always there. Krishna is there in the heart. He will never, ever leave a devotee alone. And I'm not saying that we should just kind of wait until Kali Yuga ends and then start getting our act together, depending on where we are at that point in time. But the point is, no matter how bad it is, no matter what's going on, we always have Krishna. We always have those lotus feet to hold on to. When we take shelter of Guru, we not only have Krishna's lotus feet, we have the lotus feet of Guru to hold on to. Understand that whatever your understanding is right now of what's being read, whatever your understanding is of who you are and what you're doing, understand that you cannot do anything successfully without the mercy of Krishna. You cannot do anything successfully without the blessings of a devotee. No matter who you deem that devotee to be, no matter what qualities you think that devotee has or has not, we should make this coming up celebration in the next 2 days one that's even more meaningful than it was a year ago. At least strive or pledge to do something more committed and more Krishna conscious or more God conscious than you did before, whether it involves you, a family member, a friend, whoever it involves, be sure that as a devotee you represent Krishna consciousness. Sometimes the only opportunity a person will have of seeing Krishna or God is in a devotee, and they may only have that one opportunity. Maybe that's part of something that you're responsible for doing, being that individual that helps someone come closer to Krishna. Having the forgiveness of Parikshit Maharaj, no matter how the person appears to you. You never know who it is. You never, ever know who it is you're passing in the streets. We should take to the scriptures seriously every single time we're reading it. We should take to chanting very seriously because it is a process of purification. No one that has ever chanted seriously has ever come out less than they were when they started out chanting. And you become a better person. You become more loving, more compassionate, more forgiving. I'm not going to say you become Parikshit Maharaj. He's a very special soul. But you can deal with the situations that are going on in this world right now and not fall apart. Whereas so many people are falling apart because they have no foundation to stand on. Take advantage of Krishna consciousness. Take advantage of the foundation that you offered. Even if you do not completely understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, read the scriptures. Don't let what I'm elaborating on, my understanding, throw you off track. Read the scriptures. It is very simple. It requires reading more than one time, but guaranteed, if you are sincere, if you are actually sincere about having an impact on the world, if you are sincere about changing your life, start to read seriously the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the books that Srila Prabhupada has written. Even the books that his disciples have written have structure, they have essence. Read them. Don't just take my word for it. Some of you may not understand the path that I'm speaking of, and that's okay too. And forgive me if you don't. But the point is, read the scriptures, chant, take good association. And from that association, from the reading, from the chanting, try to have an impact on someone else's life. But try to live your life in such a way that no matter what happens, no matter what goes on, the minute we walk out of that door, the minute we turn on the news, it doesn't break us down and tear us apart. As a matter of fact, it all is meant to make us stronger. And that's what the scriptures are for. These times that we're living in, they've happened before. Devotees have gotten through it. You get through it even better when you take a spiritual master. Some people think they don't need a spiritual master because Srila Prabhupada was the spiritual master. Well, when he left his body, it didn't mean that he didn't leave those that are accountable to him to be spiritual guides. I'm saying that it is important to take initiation, but it is also important to be ready to take initiation and to take it seriously. The celebration that's coming up in 2 days is a time of renewal. It's a time of celebration, and it is a time of commitment. And I pray that I can continue to honor the commitment that I made to my guru so that he can honor his commitment that he made to his guru, Srila Prabhupada. And that any time that anyone sits here and has the opportunity to read from the scriptures and to share with you, that at least there is some essence of what you hear that you can take with you that will have an impact on the rest of your life. If not me, then someone else. But these scriptures are important. They're read around the world every single day. And it is not just to strengthen our vocal cords, it's to strengthen our faith in God, in Krishna, and take advantage of it. Because there has come a time when we couldn't come to the temples to hear this. And there will come a time when we do not have the opportunity to even speak of this, while we can take advantage of it and have an impact. Be a lesson to someone, and if possible, be a blessing to someone. So, I will end at this point. Whatever you've heard, whatever has been read, does anyone have any comments you want to add, anything you want to share? Prabhu? Oh. What is beautiful, Prabhu, is the fact that people come in the morning and they listen to the scriptures no matter who's sitting here. You were just super kind. Yes, you are back. I am very happy that he does. Krishna will get you one way or the other. If it means bringing your son here by hook or crook, he's going to get you. And if you're going to be gotten by anybody, you would want to be gotten by Krishna. I can't think of a better place to be at this time of the morning. And I sincerely thank both of you that come. And I don't take a lot of importance on the number of people that are here. It doesn't matter, because what you don't see are the spiritual entities that come and listen to Krishna Katha whenever it is spoken. So based on all the crazy things that are going on in the world, thank you for being here this morning. Thank you so much. We'll end at this point. Prabhu, you have any comments you want to make? Anything you want to add or share? Oh, you're studying, you're just beginning to read the Srimad Bhagavatam? Ah. Four, 10, and 7? Did you pick those specifically for a reason? And Canto 1 as well? I'm sorry? You want to know what exactly? What's more in Canto 1? Ah, good question. Well, the way to find out what's more in Canto 1 is to keep showing up for class or listening, because we cover it every single day, and we go according to the way that it is structured. And we're covering, Hare Krishna, we're covering the scriptures as they are written. We're covering the lives of devotees. We're covering the lessons that have taken place past in the yugs, in all of the yugs. And what actually what is being covered is how to actually live your life, how to behave while you are living in this world, and how to leave this world. How you're born, how to live, how to die. That's so basic, but it's so much more than that. And it is never something that one individual can cover in one class. It is important to cover the scriptures chronologically, to go from 1, 2, 3. When you skip around, it's confusing and you lose the point, which is why you start at the very beginning of the canto. And if you went to the very beginning of Canto 1, you're starting in Namasaranya when the sages are gathered. You're starting with the question by the sages, and it goes on. It is difficult to come into the middle of the canto and try to figure out what's going on, which is why I cannot tell you that. It has been covered, which is why we are constantly going through the canto from beginning to the end over and over again, so that if you have not heard everything, you have the opportunity to sit in the class, or you have the opportunity to have the Srimad Bhagavatam set and read it yourselves. But it's a lot better when you can go through it with the class. Even though you are here at this point and we're covering Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 30. We covered 31 yesterday. We missed 30. Then we're covering 32 today. Each chapter is telling you what to expect each time. It really doesn't benefit us to go ahead of it, because then you're out of sequence with the understanding. So to want to know everything that's going on, you have to take it step by step. We're still in these human bodies, and they're imperfect. They can't maintain all of the knowledge that's in the scriptures. It was done many yugs ago where you didn't have to write this down. We maintained it. We're not at that point right now. What I would encourage you to do is, if you have an opportunity to sit in or to listen into these classes, do it. Scripture by scripture. To go to any other scripture or any other canto other than one, to bounce around, to go from one to the other, it's going to be confusing, and our minds are not that strong to put it in order, as opposed to the order that it's in right now. If that helps you in any way. What did you get from the other scriptures? Did you read them completely? The cantos? Were you looking for something in particular in the scriptures? I would encourage you to start with one. That is the best way to do it. That is the very best way to do it. But thank you for taking the time to even sit in and listen. It is important that when you have an opportunity, whether it's here in Texas, whatever state or whatever country, that you take shelter of the holy name by listening to the scriptures as they are read, and ask as many questions as come to mind. Don't hesitate to ask questions, but please do the reading, because it won't just benefit other people, but it will benefit you, because you will grow so much more, and you will learn so much more about yourself and about Krishna and about your relationship with him. This is not the first time you've come to this temple, is it? You've been coming before. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry? Is that where you... I'm sorry? Okay. So you were here when we were reading text 28. Well, if you're fortunate, please stick around so you can hear text 33, 34, and all the way through the end of the scriptures, or even if it's the complete text, the complete Canto 1, at least be available to listen to it so you can get a better understanding of it. But thank you for coming. We'll end at this point. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Shri Shri Radhakala Chandji Dham ki jai.
वीर धीर जन प्रिय कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन प्रभु प्रेमामृताम बनिधि धीर धीर जन प्रिय वो प्रिय करो पूजित चैतन्य कृपा भरौ भुवि भुव भारा तारक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्री जीव गोपालक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगो श्री जीव गोपालक कृष्ण कीर्तन गान कीर्तन गान नर्तन परम प्रेम में वीर वीर जन प्रिय प्रिय करो निर्मा पूजितम चैतन्य कृपा भरौ श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरौ भुवि भुव मानव अंतरक वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्री जीव गोपालक विचार नहीं निपुणा सद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणं त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरण करो विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणाकर विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणाकर श्री चैतन्य कृपा बरौ लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणाकर विचारणैकनिपुना तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरणाकर राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्दौ मदनामृतौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्दौ मदना नंदेन मत्तालिका वंदे रूप सनातनं रघुजुगौ श्रीजी कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन परौ प्रेम मनिधि वीर वीर जनप्रिय प्रेम पूजित श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरौ मारा महंत रखौ वंदे रूप सनातन रघुजुग वासुदेव चतुरे सुतराज्य लक्ष्मी धर्मीश्च आजवदस जददाद रन्ना मंडलस्नी सदा तुच्छव भूत्वा दीनगणे छतो करुणया मंडलपति शनि सदा तुच्छव भूत्वा दीनगणे छतो करुणया कौपीनकण्ठास्थितौ गोपी भावरसामृताब्दलहरी गोपी भावरसामृताब्दलहरी कल्लो लमग्नं वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुजुगौ श्रीजी भगो पालक राधे हे राधे ब्रज देविके च हे नंद सूना कुतः राधे ब्रज देविके च ललिते हे नंद सूनकुतः श्री गोवर्धन पादपतले कालिंदी वने तः राधे ब्रज देविके च ललिते हे नंद सूनकुतः श्री गोवर्धन पादपतले कालिंदी वने तः गोसंतापिते घोषन्तापिते सर्वतो ब्रजपुरे खेदै विह्वलौ वन्दे रूपसनातन रघुयुगौ गोसंतापिते सर्वतो ब्रजपुरे खेदै महाविह्वलौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगौ श्रीगीतमालक कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नन्दन परम प्रेमामृतं महीहि धीर धीर जनप्रिय प्रियकरौ हिमांशरौ पूजितौ श्री चैतन्य कृपाभर भुवि भुव हरः वहन् तारक वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुग
गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय
हरि हरि जन हरि हरि अनिति फले जन राधा
Radha Krishna Hari Hari Balaram Hari Balaram Hari Anitai Papi tapi jata chi Hari name uddharina Papi tapi jata achilan Hari name uddharina Taja Shakti Jagai Taram Shakti Jagai Hare Papi Tapi Nijata Chilam Hari name uddharina Papi tapi jata chilam Hari name uddharina Taja Sakhi Jagami Tara Sakhi Hari 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 Ami Bifale Radha Krishna Navariya Manasya Janamapaya Radha Krishna Navariya Janiyasya Karuna प्रभु नंदसूता नरोत्तम दास कहे नरोत्तम दास कहे नखेलिया राम पाए नरोत्तम दास कहे नखेलिया राम पाए तुम्हें बिना तेज अच्छे प्रभु तुम्हें बिना तेज हरि 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 आमी फले अवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् एतदर्पणमार्जनम् भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुदीवर्धनम् आनन्दाम्बुदीवर्धनम् प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् आनन्दाम्बुदीवर्धनम् प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं परमात्मसपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् चेतदर्पणमार्जनम् भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् चेतदर्पणमार्जनम् आनन्दाम्बुदीवर्धनम् आनन्दाम्बुदीवर्धनम् प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं परं विजयते आनन्दाम्बुदीवर्धनम् प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् एतदर्पणमार्जनम् एतदर्पणमार्जनम् नाम नामकारि निजभक्ति नाम नामकारि निजशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन कालं नाम नामकारि निजभक्ति नाम नामकारि निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन कालम् एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवैदृशं जनिनानुरागम् एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवैदृशं जनिनानुरागम् चेतदर्पणमार्जनं भवमः दामाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनं चेतदर्पणमार्जनं त्रीनादपि सुनीतेन त्रीनादपि सुनीतेन करोरपि सहिष्णुना त्रीनादपि सुनीतेन अपि सहिष्णुना अमानिन मानदेन एकनीय सदा हरि एकनीय सदा हरि नम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्राचिता नियमित मननेन काल एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवैदृशं जनिनानुरागम् मज्जुन् चेतदर्पणमार्जनं महादामाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनं चेतदर्पणमार्जनं नन्दतनया नन्दतनया पतितं किङ्करनमा विषमे भवामृदा नन्दतनया नन्दतनया पतितं किङ्करनमां विषमे भवामृदं पतितं किङ्करं मां भीषमे ममाम्बुदं कृपया कृपया तव पाद पङ्कजस्थितः धूले सदृशं विचिन्तय अयि नन्दतनय भवमहाग्निनिर्वापनं कैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावनं चेतदर्पणमार्जनम् न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां जगदीशकामये न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनि सारे भवता भक्ति रहे तुते न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां जगदीशकामये न धनं न जनं सुन्दरीं जगदीशकामये न धनं न जनं सुन्दरीं कवितां जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवता भक्ति रहे न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां जगदीशकामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भगवता भक्ति रहे चेतदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादामाग्नि निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनं चेतदर्पणमार्जनं जुगायितं निमेषेण जुगायितं निमेषेण जुगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविशा जुगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविशायितं सुन्नायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विनहीना मे सुन्नायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विनहीना मे चेतदर्पणमार्जनं चेतदर्पणमार्जनं आश्लिष्यपादरतां पिनस्तु माम् आश्लिष्यपादरतां पिनस्तु माम् मर्माहतां करतु वा दर्शनम् आश्लिष्यपादरतां पिनस्तु माम् मर्माहतां करतु वा दर्शनम् यथा तथा विदधातु लम्पटे ताम विदधातु लम्पटे भक्ताननाथस्तु सैवनापरम् यथा तथा यथा तथा विदधातु लम्पटे भक्ताननाथस्तु सैवनापरम् चेतदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्मापनम् कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यामनोजीवनम् एतदर्पणमार्जनं आनन्दामुदीवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मसपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनं चेतदर्पणमार्जनम् Plant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,